Oh, okay. I'm live. I believe I am. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for joining. Just wanted to do something a little different today. So here we are in my garage, where I got the punching bag, obviously, and I do a lot of cardio work in here. So in this video, nothing specific. Just wanted to mess around and I have the group chat thing on, and I don't know how this is going to be, so just kind of experimenting, so to speak. So this right here is a simple set of gloves that I like to put on underneath the gloves when I just want a quick workout, when I'm not going to be hitting this hard. If I'm going to hit this hard, I'm going to definitely put on the wraps. The hand wraps for sure, but for sometimes you just want a quick cardio exercise, and for that this is nice and easy. And here are a smaller set of gloves that I have. One thing that I really like about this was that it's one piece right there. It does definitely take some time getting used to that, how that feels. Like the angles it creates when you punch and stuff, but it's definitely nice because it's not like a bunch of like fabric inside that shifts around. So unless you have a really nice one, but those are going to be more expensive. So like a Wendy's or something like that, it's going to be packed in there real tight, last many years. But if you get a crappy one, it'll shift around. So in that case, it's just better to go with one, piece. You could see it. It's just one solid piece in there. So you don't have to worry about the shifting around part. So normally I put on the Bas Rutten O2 trainer. And, it's from my understanding, has nothing to do with the altitude stuff. Look, forget the altitude stuff. People want to argue about that all day long. And I've heard that really the altitude stuff, unless you live in a high altitude for long, elongated periods of time, it doesn't seem to really affect you. So just look at the thing as it makes your lungs stronger, So that's the idea. It makes the lungs stronger. Normally, I imagine like I'm going to get into a ring or a cage or something, and I come in through the door, and I have music on, so I'm getting all pumped up before going to the back. So I don't immediately just start like this. So I come in, I'm hearing the music, I imagine the crowd, and it's not that I want to do that. I have no desire to compete. That's not interesting to me at all. I don't care for that, I've always trained martial arts for self-defense, for the street, not the sport aspect. But that being said, it's really good exercise like that to imagine, like a competition, and it's super intense, and the crowd, and this is your career, and everyone is watching, and your opponent is the same way, and they've been training hard for this. They've been training day in, day out. So just thinking about all that, it gets the adrenaline flowing, and really it's about the adrenaline training in that sense. I'm trying to, and then you can feel all that start to build up. And then I'll go through that, and then I'll train on the bag, and then, I mean, if I'm too pumped up, I could wear myself out literally in under a minute. I'll be like, uh-oh, I'm in big trouble here, because I'm supposed to go, 40 minutes on this thing, and we're in the first minute, and I'm already done, You get too excited and just be like, be like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. So then you know, within the rounds, I got to go back out. I got to recover. And, you know, my body's like, oh, I got to tell myself, okay, you're tired. You're scared. Scared as in, I don't know if I'm going to make it all the way. But your opponent feels the same way. So, you know, you got to get through all that, you know, and you got to fight that and learn how to fight tired. Sometimes you're going to be sick. Sometimes maybe you'll be injured. So you got to be able to get through all that. So but it's not just striking like this. It's not just striking the boxing style. I'm also interested in incorporating the Filipino martial arts stick movements. So from there, now I have, which is a figure 8 motion. And the reason why I like this is because I know just from regular boxing where you're this is a powerful shot. You could feel it on the bag. So that shot right there is a hard shot. I could feel it compared to the other shots I'm giving. That one right there. You could do it with either arm. You go this way. So if you go this way, that would be like right for the liver. And it looks slow and stuff, but the impact lets you know that you're hitting hard. Boom. Boom. So that sets me up, come in here for the figure 8 motion. And now this is now a backhand. I'm using it as a backhand to come down. So 1, 2. And the great thing about that is that I'm coming up and down rather than going from back forward, which a lot of people expect. That's one way to generate power. I feel like a lot of people do that. You know, that's why you see like in a street fight haymakers where people are like, you know, and sure, it hits hard. And you could also see that like with a knife when you have a cardboard target, or you could have water bottles and stuff. I'll show you. You have this kind of stuff. And when you cut that and you bring your arm all the way back and you cut it like that, yeah, of course you're gonna make a huge cut, but it's just that that'd be a bad idea in a street situation. You open yourself up, you telegraph your intent. There's a lot of problems with that. So the lesson there is that distance creates the power. It's kind of like hit this thing as hard as you can. And I come back here, I run, you know, and I do whatever. Of course, you know, it gives me that momentum to charge in and do that. So same idea with a punch. If I do this, so it does make it stronger. The only problem, like I said, is it opens you up. You let them know what you're going to do. A lot of problems like that. So what I like is coming here. I'm changing the distance rather than front to back. I'm changing it to up and down. So I'm still covering the same amount of distance. Boom. But I'm going vertical up and down here. So boom, boom. So I could set that up with an uppercut. Then I could come back down and use the knuckles, the backhand, or you could do hammer fist. It's a different kind of training. Maybe it would be better with a different kind of bag than this. but I still like to practice that kind of stuff, you know, not regular boxing punches only. I don't want to limit myself to that. So a lot of these punches would be illegal in boxing, which, you know, I had a discussion with Quan Kicker not too long ago saying, I wish they would allow that, is what he said, is to allow back fists. I mean, that's a powerful, powerful shot right there. Here, that's more of a Filipino martial art style with the circular movements. And then from here, this closed position, to be guarded like this, it's no problem. I'm used to this. From here, it could easily go into the backhand. I can do the circles, 1, 2, backhand, and I still have this arm available for elbows. And then this one can come in. So after a backhand, so rather than just do a backhand, and that's it, backhand. And now we come into that bottom, moving downwards. And then coming into a double strike, which another looks like a boxing move. And sure, why not? Why wouldn't you? But I'm actually doing a back fist over here. So it's a back fist to a punch, back fist to a punch. And once again, a back fist, technically not legal in boxing from my understanding. So. So on the training, what I've been doing is just trying to go 40 minutes on this thing. So I time myself, and it's like going into the deep end. Because for 40 minutes you go, what do I do? You know, and if it's just a jab, cross, uppercut, very quick, you could start to run out of things. And you know, your opponent's doing like all this cool stuff, and you're going, what do I do? And that's where the combos really come in. So the combos that you should be putting in a lot of reps for, so whether it's cross, hook cross, or jab cross hook, or even just a jab cross, and then jab hook. You know, so all this stuff that you train in your cardio boxing, cardio kickboxing, if you do that stuff, that should all be able to come out. And rather than you going, oh, is that all I got? and probably if your face squared off, it doesn't matter if it's a street or self-defense situation, there can be a moment where you actually square it off. You know, it's not always just going to be right here like that on the street. There's moments where you can break off. And then what do you do from here? So at this moment, if you're not comfortable with that, then you don't have a plan B. You know, you don't have a base plan. So I wouldn't knock that stuff. That's why I've taught to you guys knife boxing, which is, you know, just basic boxing, except you're holding a knife, and that's what you're going to be doing. So from here, you're going to be like, and the knife will be in the reverse grip, and you're going, you know, so. And not just attacking the bag, try to move with it. So one of the things in Filipino martial arts that they teach you, super basic, is, see, the bag's moving back and forth. So there's a rhythm there. And I could go that way, where I'm meeting the force, I'm meeting the force, but I'm passing at an angle. That's where the 45-degree comes from. Because if I don't do that, I'm just gonna collide. So I don't want to collide, but like so, right? So as the force is coming towards me, I'm stepping off to a 45-degree angle, and there we go, right? The other one is to go with it. So it's coming in this direction, like this, then I'm going to go in the same direction as the bag, right? Or as the opponent, boom, this way. And I'm gonna let it pass that way. So those are the two basic thoughts on receiving right there. And of course that leads into footwork, because once again, even for this one, if I don't move, I could hit it right into me. So I need to get out of the way to pass it. So I'm looking at the bag and I'm seeing the motion. So it's not just me attacking whatever I want. Yeah, I'm reading the bag's movement. And at this point, it's pretty freaking close to me. So it almost looks like a person's chest or their torso, their body. And that's fine. I want to read it. I want to see how it moves. So in that sense of a human being, this kind of rotation, the right hand comes, the left hand comes. So when the bag does this, I'm covering up over this way. I hit it this way, I cover up, because I know if he turns this way, the left hand is coming towards me. And if I turn him the opposite way, the right hand is coming towards me. So I got to have that defense there. And then the bag can swing directly at me. So then I have to have cover, or get ready to defend the takedown. And then, of course, the bag can do this circular motion. So when it does this, it's like he's moving around and trying to hit me at the same time. Those start to get more complex. And I have to deal with that and try to keep in a good, strong posture. So, yeah, I like this kind of bag work. I was asked, why don't you tie it down? Yeah, it does have a little tab at the bottom here for me to tie it down and make it not move. But I like the movement that it provides me. So for one round, I could just work on just body mechanics. So, you know, I could just focus. I could focus on working that. For the next round, I can work on more like just speed. So it'd be like and then another round, I could work more on defense. So I could work more on footwork. Work on angles like that. And then, of course, there's kicks, elbows, and knees. So right now I'm just primarily focusing on the hands, just trying to get my hands better. And this is something I've also taught you guys is as I'm hitting, of course, use footwork, gauge the distance, move to angles, counter strike, boom, boom, right? So this is pretty normal. Move, boom, 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 boom. Okay, but there's times where you mess up. So I'm supposed to move out, and I don't. So then we're going to collide. And when we collide, that's where the technique that I taught you guys of this, where you're just focusing on a square. It's a tilted square because it's not, my arms aren't doing this. They're at an angle, so I just tilt the square right here, you know. And so from there, when I mess up, it gets too close here. I strike in. I strike in. You know, I come in, and then that's where you should be in the clinch at that point. So you messed up. You have this square, and if you feel like something's going to enter into the middle between the arms, then that's where you have to close it. You know, you can't leave it wide open. So from there, bam. And then, like, let's say he has a knife, and that knife is coming towards the center of my body, and that's where I need to close. I can't just do this because then it'll get through the arm, or maybe my arm won't be successful at blocking. So then I have to close the square, protect the vitals, and wrap them up. You got to gift wrap them. And if you've worked with anyone that's done wrestling, whether it's high school or on a collegiate level, I mean, you don't just clinch somebody. No. Train with those guys. You'll see. It'll give you a whole new respect for their sport, is they will come in hard. And that's the mentality that you guys got to have. So you're going to have to come in very hard. But what I like to do is to add the strike here and then come in. Okay. So, and then come in and search for those reference points, which is an overhook or underhook. If you decide to stay here and, you know, defend whatever, relies a tremendous amount on your reflexes. I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's going to rely a tremendous amount on your skill. You know, once again, I'm not going to say it's impossible. It's just, I think it's more likely that you go into the clinch, you know. So, and I mean, no disrespect to anyone that works in the trapping range, whatnot. It's a difficult area. It really is. And there are some very skilled people, like the guy that I just met at the Pedro at the Combatives. The guy was very, very skilled there. It was awesome stuff. But, you know, just keep that in mind. So you want to be prepared for both. Boom, boom. If you get a chance, like you've seen in kickboxing, where, you know, you do this and then the guy comes in with a front kick, so you scoop that out of the way, scoop it out. So I'm scooping. It could be a punch too. It could be a punch. You see this kind of defense. So one more interesting thing I like to mention to you guys is, in regular boxing, or when you first start, like a beginner like myself, they teach you, or I was taught, like with the jab and the cross, you know, to stick to this kind of textbook form, you know. And I'm not saying I'm doing it perfect or I'm doing it textbook, but I'm trying to. So when I throw my punches like this, right, that's one thing. But once you got a live opponent and you're moving around and they're throwing punches at me, and you know, it's going to be more live, right? So in that kind of sense, necessarily trying to throw this kind of punch, you know, that it's pretty difficult, because they're not going to just be wide open like that. So I found that in that sense, when you start moving more reactionary, okay, so that kind of punch where it's a whip rather than a deliberate bring the arm up, be in form, and bam, you know. And you might be saying, well, why aren't you already in form? Well, sometimes you just move out of the way. So you're a little bit, your form may not be 100%, you know? So, this kind of movement, the whipping, and this goes same with a knife. When I trained with those guys on Saturday, I found myself that when I was deliberately thinking, okay, I'm going to set him up. He's going to come in with a knife attack, and I'm going to draw him. So when he goes for that attack, I'm going to counterattack that arm, right? So I know he's trying to cut me, so I'm going to present a fake arm here for him to cut. And when he goes to cut that, I'm going to cut him on the arm. Okay, you know, and I noticed when I did that, my speed wasn't significantly faster. So I wasn't able to land that knife cut, you know. And sometimes they were faster than me. So when I presented the fake arm, I got cut right on the arm. It's just sometimes you never know. You know, the opponent they could just be way faster than you. So in that sense, but I was still moving from a place of thought rather than a reaction. And reaction's faster than a place of thought. And so the idea is to combine the two as much as possible. Like this, where my reaction to move, get out of the way. So this kind of motion combined with the strike. So if I try to deliberately think about the strike and move out of the way, it would look more like this, right? But if I'm using more reaction, it would be more, so I can hop and the arm becomes more like that. So versus let me switch again. Back to form. So you saw right here, boom, boom. There's my number one angle. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And finish it up. It wasn't a hook. It wasn't a hook. But it's more of a jab there. So rather than pumping out a straight normal jab, I can go. So 1, 2, that's my angle 1. In that case, I was more like a 1, 2, 3. So it's more like a number 4 going into these rotational kind of strikes that you see. And then, of course, from the arm's closed position, I already said you could go into a backhand, back fist, or that's the
my interpretation of the wedge technique taught to me by Black Silk. Black Silk. So right here. And right there, I would have eaten it. This is a bad position for me, so I rotate around like that. So that was, I should have went this way. I went that way. Even if I switched it low enough to go for a takedown, that would have been a bad takedown. I probably would have just eaten a knee to the face. So you got to recognize, you got to critique yourself. Recognize, when did you mess up? When was it a good move? When was it a bad move? So it's not just, I have different gloves, so I change the gloves and it feels different. And then of course, you could do bare knuckle training as well, which you gotta do some kind of hand conditioning with that. I don't recommend just to go from zero to just start hitting a canvas, especially a canvas bag. This feels more like nylon, so this is fine. On canvas, you're gonna cut your skin open unless you just got some really rough hands. But so work on this bare knuckle so that you learn the proper angle and not do one of these. It kind of teaches you, just how hard you want to be hitting. You don't see me going as hard as I can because, knowing all that, I could still jack my wrist, jack my hand up doing that. So you don't see me do that. And then when you go bare knuckle, there's lots of things to practice there. And then what's holding this down, I got really big tires holding it down. So it does limit my footwork. Plus I'm in kind of the corner here, but that's okay. Sometimes you can't practice everything. So over here out in the open space, that's where I practice footwork, but then I don't get to really hit anything because it's just in the air. So I hit over here, do a little bit of footwork, but mostly my footwork practice is over there. I wish I could go 360 all the way around, or at least 180. But once again, I don't have the room for this right now. And then I got this guy. So it's not a big sledgehammer. I don't even know how heavy. This is 6 pounds. Okay, yeah. So it's tiny compared to some of the other sledgehammers I've seen. But for me, a small guy like me, this works great. And right here's the tire. I got more tires, but this works just fine. So I carry it like this, and I go 1, 2. They come up to here, and then when you bring it down, I feel all this tighten right here to pull it, and then it's almost like my body goes out. It goes out, to let that hit down. Just the technique of it. It's almost like I pull back with the body, boom, let the weight hit, and then from there, you want to switch it to this side over here. The further back your hand is, the easier, because you have support here. So down here, you kind of have to rely more on the momentum, like so. And then pull down. I really like it. When I first did it, all this was tight. And I felt some of that happens too. But all this got real tight. So anyway, this kind of thing I like to mess around with, and also when I'm super tired, like just holding this. So I already worked 40 minutes with this. Let's say I'm dead tired. I just want to go to bed. So instead of just like putting my hands on my knees and just be like that, to me that's a sign of weakness. So I try to fight that. try to help me become a little bit tougher than I am, because I was not born a tough guy. I am not a tough guy at all. So after the workout, I'll just hold this, you know, like this is my rifle or something, and, you know, just stand tall. Don't be, you know, don't be like that. So even though I want to bad, I'm just like, you know, and just hold this kind of thing. I think that's good for the mental toughness. It's just little things here and there to help me, once again, because I wasn't born in a tough neighborhood, or I wasn't raised. I was very frail, kind of the total opposite in that sense. So, but anyway, this was just an experiment run. I don't know how this video is going to be, but if you did check it out, thank you so much. And I may give this another shot later down the road. So in the meantime, happy holidays. You all stay safe. It's crazy. It's the busiest time of the year. So Merry Christmas to you all. And thanks for hanging out with me for 2018. So this is Wmpyr, over and out.